right now. Good morning. This is Milu Islam, business coach with Darmil Group. And with me, we have Juliana Snyder, who is the co-host for our program today, is Young Entrepreneurs Building the Future of Business. And we have a fabulous guest who is attending with us today, is Ryan Simones. Ryan, welcome to our program and welcome to our live broadcast.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm excited to be here.
Very nice to have you here as well. Juliana, why don't you introduce yourself and let's introduce Ryan.
Yep. So my name is Juliana Scheidhauer. I'm the owner of Combat 360, and I'm really excited to have Ryan here today. He's a passionate young entrepreneur who is very well accomplished and just doing great things out there. So I'll just let Ryan go ahead and share what he has for us today.
That's great, guys. Hey, thank you so much for the call. Juliana, did you want me to share my video?
Yeah, go ahead and do that if you can.
I will show that. Ryan, fantastic to have you here. And do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself before we show the video?
Absolutely. So guys, thanks so much for having me. My name is Ryan Simones. I am actually just about to turn 22 years old. I've been in business for the past 4 years. Finished my undergrad when I turned 18 and been very excited about coaching people in entrepreneurship and teaching financial literacy. And so Dr. Islam's about to share a brief video that goes over my story. In that video, you'll see just a little more about what we do exactly, and then after that. So thank you so much.
Very well. And you were frozen for a few seconds. So we will go ahead and bring up your video and we will share it with the world about Ryan and what he does. So let me go ahead and share this. Can you guys see the Ryan's page? Very well. So what I will do, I will go ahead and share from here. And let's see.
Most people, they have their big goals and passions and dreams, but they're stuck in this rat race of time and money, time and money. It doesn't matter how much money you make. There's still people that are living paycheck to paycheck. I believe when people know better, they can do better. Time and money aside, what would you do with your life? My name is Ryan Simones. I'm a financial life coach, and I sit down with families and individuals, and I empower them to really take control of their financial lives. Several months ago, I sat down with a family, and she told me pretty clearly, she's like, I know what I want, but she's like, nobody's really ever clearly told me these are the everyday steps to get there. Looking back over my own life, I've had great coaches and mentors that have really poured into me. My great uncle, Frank Beamer, he's inspired me so much with his legacy and the way he's poured into the community. In the same way, I want to model my business after him.
I'm so proud of Ryan, who really cares about people. He's very focused on not just what's the best thing to do with my money, but really what's the best thing for us as a family and what's going to impact future generations.
I provide personalized coaching. I utilize cutting-edge digital software that works pretty much like a money GPS. It calculates exactly where people are at and helps navigate to where they want to go. And so they can really worry less about their money and enjoy life more today. Walk people through simple concepts like the life insurance policy, how do you get out of debt? How do you get a good emergency fund in place? 401k, and Roth IRAs, investments, wherever people are at, we meet them where they're at. I want to be invested in your growth and in your future. I don't charge for my time. What brings me the joy and success in my business personally is seeing them get closer to their goals financially. I believe that people were empowered and felt secure in where they're going financially. That would enable them to pursue their passions, which then would enable the whole community to grow and flourish that much better together. So if you're someone that knows where you want to go financially, but lack a clear direction on how to get there, fill out a few questions below and let's set up time to meet. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Very nice, very nice. And that should give a good introduction of Ryan Simones, who is with us this morning and who is doing a lot of good work for young entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs as well. So with that, I am handing over to Juliana to carry on.
Yeah, for sure. So Ryan, can you talk a little bit more about like your background into, being a young entrepreneur?
Absolutely. And just to double check, is my audio coming through clearly?
Yes.
It is, yes.
Perfect. Well, guys, it's a pleasure to be on the call today. So my background, growing up, I've actually never been an employee for anyone. I've actually always been in business since a young age. Back very early beginning, back in high school, my dad and I started a roof and siding cleaning business just to kind of get my feet wet in the entrepreneur world. I was starting to learn how to market, to start communicating with people, to do the budgeting and accounting. So had that early on just planted into my mind of, all right, I can work for someone or I can actually go into business for myself. And, I really saw a beauty in having a lot of time freedom and the ability to kind of take control and take ownership of your life by being an entrepreneur. And so kind of starting that journey early on in high school. Then I went to, during high school, I started a college program that allowed me to get my undergrad pretty quickly. And so I ended up graduating with my undergrad. I studied business and finance and finished that up before I turned 18. Before I turned 19. So I was 18 years old. And then right after that, I started working full time in this financial coaching business and been doing that the past 3.5 years. I'm fully licensed and we're building a team. We've got a little less than 20 people that are on our team right now part-time, and there's 2 others that are full-time. And we're really excited about our growth this year. And just the biggest theme I could say in my background, Juliana, is the importance of having a coach. And I think I'm talking to a lot of young entrepreneurs out there that, getting involved, and you can talk to Dr. Islam as well, getting involved in any sort of business is very important to have somebody that you can follow. And so I had a coach in high school that helped me with my degree. I had a coach in my soccer. I had a coach in my guitar. I play classical guitar. And now I have a business coach that has 32 years of experience in the financial services world that's coaching me every day. So that's kind of a story of my theme. And now personally, my goal is to coach and train other people to do what I've done and to also serve clients in this area and around the United States. So that's a little bit about my background in the business so far. And I'm excited about what the future holds.
Yeah, it looks like it's exciting and growing for you. So that's great. What projects are you working on currently?
So the biggest project I'm working on right now is with my coach and I, we're trying to develop ways of marketing financial coaching to people in a way that's very easy. I think the traditional way is is going on the wayside. I think the way that most people are going to, there's a less convincing and more attracting that's happening in this industry. And we're finding ways of how to, create more exposures. We're creating some really cool digital animated videos that we've been using on a daily and weekly basis with our team that's really helped connect people to us. So just figure out ways to market what we do in a more, modern way that's going to attract people in the 20s and 30s. There's different demographics that we work with, but I really see this business and the financial world as being something that a lot of young entrepreneurs are going to want to get into because of the ways you can market what we do. And then also just the need is so big for people to start investing at a young age, to get out of debt and ultimately have a life where they're not as worried about money and they can really enjoy their lives more and be focused on pursuing their own passions. And so I'd say the biggest project I'm working on now is creating those tools to be able to connect to people more. And a lot of those tools are actually videos. I think video is a big way of marketing these days. So it's been going very well for our team so far, and I feel like we're just on the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more that's coming. So developing web apps and new videos. So those are some projects I'm currently working on, and I think we can do kind of what Amazon's done to retail. I think we are on track to kind of do that in the financial world at the rate we're going. So we have about 4,000 people on our calls every week now across the United States that my coach and I are working with. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that's great. I think you're right on there with, digital marketing is, the future, especially for, young people. It was interesting you mentioned like trends and stuff. You talk to a lot of people yourself. And so I was wondering, what kind of trends do you see in your industry?
That's a great question. So what kind of trends do I see in the industry? I see most people know what they want. And I think as a business, the more we can make it very easy for them to get kind of what they want and have the guidance, make it as simple as possible for a consumer to go from, where they're at to where they want to go. I think the trend I'm seeing is making that process as simple and easy as possible and make them feel like they're in control and you're just the guide. They're always the hero in the story. I recently, a great book I'd recommend is a book called Story Brand. And in that book, it talks about as a business, you're just the guide. You're kind of like the Yoda to the Luke, right? I don't know if you guys watch Star Wars, right? You're guiding someone who has big goals and passions and dreams, right? The consumer to help them get to where they want to go in their personal goals. So I'd say that's a big trend I'm seeing is, people really know what they want. And a lot of people don't have much time either. They're really busy. So you got to make that as simple and easy as possible for them to get to those goals. So
That's great. Yeah. So I guess what are some general things, or what do most people kind of, aspire to that you're seeing, from consumers?
Well, everybody wants to get to a point, and I think COVID has brought this out. Last year with a lot of people realizing that they shouldn't be relying on just one income. A lot of people have realized the importance of having multiple streams of income, having an emergency fund in place, having, their debt under control, being on the same page with their spouse when it comes to their finances. So those are a lot of things I feel like a lot of, the families that we talk to as clients really are aspiring to, that they need those things. And then on the business side of what we do, I've just seen a transition, and there's so many more people pursuing entrepreneurship these days. It's exciting. And I think the way a lot of businesses are even paying their employees are now based off of their results versus based off of hours, because a lot of people working from home and it's hard to even track the hours. So I see a lot of people coming and saying, hey, if I can, get these results in this time frame, and I'd be very excited about working with you and your team, Ryan, and not only becoming a client, but also, joining your team and joining this movement and helping spread financial, literacy to middle-income families. Most of the companies in this industry aren't really helping the middle class. And so my goal as a team is to really focus on graduates, young families that are busy, that just want time freedom. And so I'm excited to continue connecting to those types of people.
That's awesome. Dr. Islam, you're in the coaching business as well. So do you see some of these trends as well, especially with young entrepreneurs?
Yes. What Ryan is saying is fantastic, and you hopefully you remember the last time we were in our session on young entrepreneurs building the future of business. You asked me a question, and we were talking about how freelancing is growing nowadays. And I see a trend of young people are growing in freelance world, and what that means is becoming an independent business owner and presenting yourself to the world and the skills you have. But that's just your skill. Converting that to becoming a true business owner is require entrepreneurship skill. And what Ryan is saying here is he's helping young entrepreneurs to build a business, and coming from one person business to multi-people, multi-employee, hundreds of employee and whatnot, and actually become an owner mindset is the conversion from freelancer to owner mindset. So we have to help them, the young entrepreneur, to become the owner mindset mentality or entrepreneur mindset mentality, where they don't run the business runs itself. You have employees, you have other vendors, you have customers, and all those combined, you should have a strategy to run that business in a self-running mode. And that's what we are trying to help here, to shift the mindset of young entrepreneurs who are coming up and doing freelance work and say, well, you know, I have 30, 40 years to go. What do I do? How can I be freelancer for all my life? Or should I change to be an entrepreneur? So that was a very good question. So that's what the trend I'm seeing is freelancing, but we together can help these young entrepreneurs to convert to entrepreneur mindset and build much bigger businesses.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That was absolutely gold. Just the way you said, you know, being, I guess, self-employed or a freelancer to then being an owner, you know, there is a difference.
There is significant difference, and also it's not only in young entrepreneurship. You also see that in a lot of business owners who've been in business for a long time, who are doers, who like to do things day in, day out, and they work 50, 60, 70 hours a week in their business instead of working on their business and grow that business and have the employees the freedom to do it and build their business for them. And that's the mindset shift for the business owner who are already in business. So Ryan, I want to focus on something different for a second. You have a nice guitar sitting behind you. Is that tells us that you are a musician?
Yes, sir. I am. I've played classical guitar since probably I was 8 years old. I took private lessons for about 10 years, and then I made all-state guitar in my junior and senior year of high school. So it's been a good hobby of mine, and I absolutely love playing it.
And when you play guitar, what that do to you?
Sorry, say that again.
When you play the guitar, what that do to you?
What does it do? Well, personally, I feel like it definitely relaxes me, and it allows me to, you know, engage parts of my brain that I otherwise wouldn't engage, right? And then I'm also able to, you know, I've taken my guitar to nursing homes, to different church events and worship nights, you know, to then also, you know, use it as a skill to help other people and, you know, have a great time, bring it around the campfire. So
that's very good thing to say. And as you see behind me, the Vino and Vision sign there, we have this other company called Vino and Vision, where we are doing activity-based coaching, and we have yoga, music, and other crafts involved in there, and which is to initiate the right side of thinking, side of your mind, which is the creative and emotional side of the mind. The left side is the logical side of the mind. So young entrepreneurs who has hobbies like you, and we have Molly, who is Molly Lovett, who is playing music for us, and she's in Nashville, Tennessee, and she's a young entrepreneur herself because she's growing to be a musician in a country music home, which is Tennessee. So Molly plays those music, and we are doing that on a regular basis in our Vino and Vision VIP. People can see that, and that's a shift of mind, and it helps entrepreneurs. It helps the not only the already existing entrepreneur, but the young entrepreneur who are just stepping into this new frontier where they will be growing this business. So, few of the question that Juliana is asking, and because you are coming from financial side of it, there is some challenges young entrepreneurs specifically feel with financial side of it. One of them is lack of low personal capital, because you know, they're just stepping into the new world and they think like, I need to work for somebody to make money first before I can actually go into a venture and invest. So lack of personal capital is one of them. Which also relate to no safety net, because they have not built up a safety net for themselves. And at the same time, age is always a concern for them, that I'm too young. I'm too young to do business and to invest in the future of this unknown field. So they are a little bit hesitant on that, and that's why they like to go to the safety net, which is a secure work and getting paid on a regular basis. But entrepreneurship also require for taking risk, right? And young entrepreneurs always face the networking difficulties because they don't know how to properly network and how to connect with people as somebody else who's been in business for a long time. So these are some of the challenges, and financial challenges definitely come into picture, and you are doing some good work on that. Tell us how, and you mentioned about this GPS that you are using, right? The financial GPS. How can you go a little bit more on that so the young entrepreneurs can see what are you doing and how this helps them on a day in and day out?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. I think the first part of your question, actually, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, for someone as a young person to decide to get into business, it's a big jump. And I'll get to your GPS question in just a second. I think before you do jump into a business and entrepreneurship, I would definitely recommend having a coach. You know, it sounds like you do coach people as well in that. You know, specifically with my business, when I'm coaching people, like I have a lot of people that I tell to keep their full-time job, but we'll pay for their licensing, help them ease into, you know, building up a side income stream before they can actually go full-time in our business. So there's ways we do coach people on going full-time and you know, depending on your responsibilities. But when it comes to, I'm sitting down with a client, we sit down with people for free. We don't charge for our time, and we utilize a pretty cutting edge digital software that works basically like a money GPS. So calculate exactly where people are at, you know, what type of debt they have, how much do they have in their emergency fund, where their investments are at, you know, what kind of income they're making. And then we'll figure out what their goals are. So we usually start off with what we call a financial independence number. So figure out where do you want to be by a certain age. So that way you can stop working for money and live the rest of your life off of the investments and money that you've made, right? So we'll have it kind of start with a long-term goal. You know, for me, I have a goal to retire a lot earlier than most people. And when I think of the word retire, I don't think of stopping working. I just think of being able to wake up in the morning and not have to go work for money. I want to have the ability to do other things. So we usually start with those long-term goals, and using that money GPS software, we'll figure out how to get people to those goals and set up consistent daily habits to get there. And we work pretty much like the Amazon of finance, to where I can connect you to pretty reputable companies like Fidelity or AIG or Invesco, and we'll connect you to those companies to help you get to your goals. And then those companies will compensate my team and I directly for our time. So that way we have a good relationship. We are incentivized to keep up with everybody that we help. So that way they can, you know, stay on track. So that's just a little answer on how that GPS software works and how we use it on a daily basis.
Yes, so very nice, because I think you have a lot to offer in our young entrepreneurs building the future of business segment of the Darmil Group. And we are looking for young entrepreneurs to come join us so we can help them. And we are also looking for corporations to start looking at those young entrepreneurs and individually sponsor them into this program so they can grow their business. So we will be working on that. But and hopefully some our live broadcast will be seen by some of the corporations, and they will see that we are trying to build a future of the business, and that will be great. And we like to see you more and more in our program, and I know you are coming the next one as well. So with that said, Juliana, what else you want to add or find out from Ryan?
Yeah, I think we are unfortunately running out of time, but it was great hearing your insights here, Ryan, and all that you had to bring to the table. You know, there's a lot more to talk about just with, you know, what you do in your business, but also your background and, you know, on young entrepreneurship. But I guess before we leave, what is the best way to contact you, and what's your, you know, what's the best way to reach out to you if they need help?
Absolutely. Yeah, if somebody would like to connect to me, I'd be more than happy to chat, just one-on-one. I do have a lot of people on my team that are working with me as well. But I'd say the simplest way, just because we're on a live broadcast, just go to my website. It's ryansimonis.com. And there's ways you can join my private Facebook group. And I do a lot of free education there. And then there's more links to learn more about specifically what we do there. And there's a link to schedule a time to talk to me, and my cell number's on that as well. So you can feel free to reach out that way.
Okay, awesome.
Very nice. ryansimmons.com. And you have a Facebook group there on your page so people can go and connect with you, right? ryansimmons.com.
ryansimonis.com. Yes, sir. My first and last name.
And people, whoever is listening, if you are a young entrepreneur, definitely you need to connect with Ryan. Ryan will be coming and giving us more guidelines and more guidance how to grow financial future for the young entrepreneurs and also other entrepreneurs. So Ryan, if you don't mind, if you can play us a little tune, and we will end this session with good music. How about that?
You'd like me to play a little tune real quick?
Oh, sure.
All right, give me a second here. Actually, I don't know if this is in tune. I haven't played it in a little bit, but you guys know "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles?
Yeah.
Wait, let's see how does it go again. I'll play a piece that I've been working on. I'll just play a quick like 30 second little snippet of this one. So that's one of the songs that I actually performed in a competition about 3 years ago. So it's called Recuerdos by De La Alhambra. So it's like a Spanish song. But so I don't know if you guys can even pick up the audio, okay? But I'd be happy to play another one for you if you give me a little more heads up next time.
Well, surprise is what young entrepreneurs should know, that in business world, you always have a surprise. And if you have a talent, that's the one you should be nurturing as well, because that's big thing for you. And
yes.
Ryan, thanks for playing the tune. I hope everybody enjoyed that and everybody enjoyed this session. And we will be seeing you again in 2 weeks. And congratulations, you are going to be some big musician someday. And hopefully you and Molly can connect, because Molly is in Nashville, Tennessee, who is a young musician. And who knows where that will go. We may be seeing you guys in Hollywood movies. So Juliana, thank you for attending and running the show with me. And Ryan, thank you for coming. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds great, guys. Have a great rest of your day.